And you can help for yourself, you can help to the people. It's not only you can, have money, you can grow up as a person, personal development, mindset. You can control your mind, because I believe when comes big money, you need to control your mind, because it's gonna be disaster after when comes big money. So yeah, about the mindset, I have amazing business partner, Rose Garcia, is Bob Proctor consultant, and he's moved from Chicago to UK. He changed his mind in like this. He just come to visit us, and he stay here in UK, and he's very successful. So let's put some fire emojis for Rose Garcia. He's amazing, have extremely crazy experience. You're gonna talk about mindset, how to control mind, how to control life, how to control money. And let's put some fire emojis. Rose, I give it to you. Thank you.
All right, so
Thank you.
we got about 16 people on the call today, and it seems like people are still logging on. So I hope everyone can hear me good. Let's drop some fire emojis to Seville for putting these calls together. Without her, this would not be possible. Seville, can you let me know if the sound sounds good? Can you let me know if you can hear me good?
Yeah, everything is fine. Everything is perfect.
Okay, great. So the call is being recorded right now. And I want to thank everyone for your time, because people could be doing something else, okay? So we're still letting people on this call. Let me give my book, my Think and Grow Rich book, Napoleon Hill, okay? So today's chapter is on persistence. And, one of the things is, when you're going after the things that you want, you're going to find that it's not going to be easy to go after a certain lifestyle. Bob Proctor and me, we always focused on being happy, healthy, and wealthy. Why? Because you can't have wealth without health. You can't have health without being happy. When you go to the gym, you have to focus on things that make you feel good. And I talk about that all the time. And, I could be upset because I have to wait 10 minutes. We only have 30 minutes. I have to wait 10 minutes to just start the call. Or I can look at it as a blessing. There's something good in it, So you have to really analyze your thoughts, because William James, a professor from Harvard, he says that you have about 60,000 thoughts per day. And out of those 60,000 thoughts, you have to understand that maybe 10 of them have something to do with your definite major purpose. But you have to find out what your definite major purpose is. Like, I have a pen and I have a highlighter. Why do I have a highlighter? Because I want to highlight all the stuff that I'm writing down. I write this stuff down. What do I write down? First of all, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm creating a business where I get to have time, money, and freedom. People are attracted to me. My business is growing. I'm happy, healthy, and wealthy. And I could even throw in, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm making $100,000 a month in my business. Now, the subconscious mind is immoral. Earl Nightingale, I said this yesterday, he says that the subconscious mind is like the dirt. You could plant nightshade, a deadly poison, and not even a 16th of an inch away, you could plant corn, a sweet food. It gives you what you plant. So you have to understand that you're operating on a certain level of awareness, and you have a habitual way of doing things. You wake up at a certain time, you like to eat a certain food. And what if I told you, okay, well, You're not going to wake up at a certain time. You're going to wake up earlier. And what if I said, hey, that food isn't serving you. We're going to take that away, right? In my case, it was pizza. Okay, well, pizza is not serving you. So let's take the pizza away from you. So it's like, okay, well, what do I have, right? Like, there is never something for nothing, guys. You have to pay the price to go after what you want. This is not going to be easy. But easy is going to school, getting a degree like I did, hoping to get a job that pays for your expenses. And 9 times out of 10, that salary is not going to pay for your expenses. So what do we have? At the very layer, at the very bottom, it's like the first page or the last page, right? At the very first page is the creation process. And, you know, you have to get this, guys. You have to get this. I talk about the same thing. I quote the same person every single day because the same thing is the main thing. And that's something that I started saying last week. The same thing is the main thing. What is the same thing? Persistence, repetition. Napoleon Hill says that persistent is like what carbon is to steel. If anyone has ever heard of those trains from the 1850s, they didn't run on electricity. They ran on carbon. So, you know, you would throw carbon in there and there goes the train. I'm not as sure exactly how they ran, but I know that you got to keep the fire going. And if you let the fire die down, what is the fire? The fire is the persistence, the repetition, the same thing. Keep the same thing, keep the same thing, the main thing. What is the main thing? I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Now you have to understand that the subconscious mind is closed. It was open till you were maybe 7 years old. At 7 years old, I thought I was Superman. I remember grabbing a towel and wrapping it over my head, putting it around me and saying, I'm Superman, I can fly. Well, guess what? If you try doing that right now, they'll think you're crazy. Now, if anyone has ever seen the movie The Matrix, in the movie The Matrix, Neo was living in a dream world. His reality was a matrix. It was a program. When Morpheus told him, you can stay where you're at right now, or you could take the red pill and you can wake up from this dream world that you're in. He decided to take the red pill and he woke up and he was living in a different time zone. Why? Because his world no longer existed. When he woke up, his world was no longer there. When you get this information, you're learning how to use the right part of your brain, the creative side, because you have a left part of your brain. You have a logical side, and the logical side is the predominant area of the mind, your mind. So because it's the predominant area of your thoughts, of your habitual program, it's not going to let you go into the creation process, the right side of your brain. It's going to stop you. I was just talking to a kid down here in Hugo Boss, and I told him, I'm like, have you ever made $1 million? He's like, no, money's not important to me. My main thing is health. And I said, yeah. How old do you think I am? He's like, 28. I'm like, no, I'm 37. I focus on health. So unfortunately, he didn't want my business card. He didn't want this card, Wealth Mindset Group. On the card, I have our YouTube channel. I have our Instagram. I have the Facebook. On the card, Wealth Mindset, Millionaire Mentors. What does Millionaire Mentors mean? That means that you have to have a combination of happy, healthy, and wealthy. Like, you might be healthy, but you might not be wealthy. You might be broke. So you have to mix all three: happy, healthy, wealthy, because you are what you tell yourself. What is the same thing? The main thing. What is the main thing? I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm healthy. But unfortunately, that young kid was closed-minded. And Napoleon Hill said one thing: in order for you to be wealthy, in order for you to be happy and healthy, you must be open-minded. He said open-minded is essential. It's essential for your success. You cannot be closed-minded. You cannot think, okay, there's a limitation. The Bible said that how wealthy people do not go to the kingdom of heaven. They misinterpreted the Bible. Jesus Christ wants the best for you. He wants for expansion, fuller expression, never for hard times. You should never have to go clock in and work for money, because there's three levels here. There's three levels. At the very top level, or at the very bottom level, however you want to see it, because that's called perception, right? You could see it however you want. But at the very top level is creation, is I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me, multiple sources of income. I'm creating a lifestyle that I don't have to clock in from. At the very top level is energy and the subconscious. At the very bottom level is what 99% of people do. They go clock in. They give their time for money. They don't understand these principles. They don't understand about the imagination, the will, reasoning, intuition, memory, and perception. They understand what they see, smell, taste, hear, and touch. They understand that they have a self-image. They understand that they've been taught who they were. They didn't break free from the prison. Vernon Howard, he says, you can't escape from a prison not unless you know you're in one. Well, Neo was in a prison. He was in the Matrix. When he woke up to reality. And what was the reality? He was living in a different time. And everything he thought was real about who he was an illusion. It was impressed upon him. You see, when you were brought up, you were taught this is a dog, this is a cat, this is your name, this is how much your dad makes, this is how much you should make, this is what you should do to get ahead. But the reality is they didn't know. They didn't know. They didn't understand. They thought that maybe going to school was going to get you ahead. And I'm not saying going to school is wrong. You might be able to get ahead, but some people don't get ahead. And what is ignorance? Ignorance is the polar opposite of knowledge. Educate, in the Greek word, it means to draw out. Let me just check to make sure that it's being recorded. Yes, it's being recorded. You can find the recording on Wealth Mindset Group on YouTube. And also in the WhatsApp groups, we'll be posting it after the call. So knowledge is the opposite of ignorance. And what did Napoleon Hill say about ignorance? He says, ignorance is failure to take possession of your own mind. Because if you took possession of your own mind, you could literally have anything you want and you can have it in abundance. Now, I'm going to give you an exercise, right? Of whatever you focus on is what will grow and what will be. Now, if you're on the road, I'm going to give you an exercise. Focus on a white car. Doesn't matter if it's a truck or a car, whatever it may be. Just focus on a white vehicle. And I will guarantee you, the more you focus on a white vehicle, the more you will see them on the road. The more you will see them on the road. Because Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson, he says that the only thing that can grow is the thing you give energy to. And what will grow? Whatever you're giving your energy to. So what are you giving your energy to? Open-minded is essential to be wealthy, happy, and healthy. And I agree with him. I agree with him 100%. Being healthy is the main thing. But at the same time, you can't be open-minded. So he had every quality that I was looking for, but he didn't have an open mind. And that's why he failed. And I'm so happy that that he didn't take the card. But I would have loved for him to take the card and to maybe participate in one of these calls. Because yeah, he's right. It's not about being wealthy. because you can be wealthy but not be healthy. Look what happened to the CEO of Apple. He died. I think he died from cancer. And Steve, I think his name was Steve, not Steve Wozniak, it was the other guy, the founder of Apple. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is the same thing is the main thing. The same thing is the main thing. The main thing is the same thing, however you want to put it. Steve Jobs, thanks. The main thing is the same thing. What's the main thing? Your major definite purpose, being persistent, doing the same thing over and over and over. Doesn't matter about your current results. We're not dealing with right now. We're dealing with the end. And I like what Bob Proctor says about Nat King Cole, about a song he says about pretend. He says, you can be happy when you're blue. This is a song. You can be happy when you're blue. It isn't very hard to do. You can find happiness without an end whenever you pretend, because that's where it's at, is pretend. Pretend that you have everything you ever want. What would you be doing? How would your life look like? Did you write it down? Writing it down is important every single day. Every single day. Because if you don't write it down, you're not using your imagination. Remember, the subconscious mind is programmed negatively and environmentally by what you see, smell, taste, hear, and touch. But you're born in God's image. You have these higher faculties. You can literally create the life that you really want for yourself, for your family. And I've done that. I've done that because I truly believe in this information. And I believe in the creation process. I believe in my imagination, in my will, my concentration factor. That's why Napoleon, the other Napoleon, Napoleon Bonaparte, he took over Europe with these principles. And so did Alexander the Great, because he was taught these principles through Socrates. A lot of people think these principles have been around for the last 100 years. They've been around for thousands of years. But only the 1% of the 1% were able to really use them and explain them, because this is a transfer of wealth. You can literally show your kids a picture of being healthy, happy, and wealthy, because they're going to need this information from you. When your kids come to you with problems, say, look, son, daughter, I know that you've been hearing negativity from maybe your friends, but listen, you are great. You're great. You can do anything you want, son, daughter, whoever they may be. You can do whatever you want. This is what I tell my son. You can do whatever you want. And yes, we're driving in a car right now, Leonardo. We're driving a car. But you know what, Leonardo? When you're 20, 30 years old, you might not be driving in a car. You might be in the sky. Like, people were watching the Jetsons and they were thinking, okay, this is just fantasy, right? Everything we've seen in fantasy is becoming reality. Our life right now is like a video game. You can't go anywhere. You can't go into a train station without wearing a mask. You can't buy food without checking in to make sure you don't have a virus, right? This sounds like a video game. I'm just checking the time because Vincent Anucci is going to be doing the presentation right now. So that's it. The call's over, guys. You have to be persistent. You have to know what you want, why you want it, when. You have to put a date. You have to be putting on a piece of paper what you're willing to give for what you want, because Napoleon Hill says there's never something for nothing. You have to pay the price. So we're going to end the call because Vincent has a practical solution for you guys to make money through residual income and our organization. So if you're part of the organization, great. If you're not, then get your people on the call if they're in the US or in the UK, wherever they may be, because we're literally changing the game. And we're applying these principles to our family life, to our business life, because you must keep the same thing, the main thing, the same thing over and over and over again. Repetition. I'm looking at Sabil's notebook. She's writing down her goals every single day in the morning. She's imagining, she's holding on to it with her concentration factor. She's not wasting any time. She's creating residual income. She doesn't have to clock in. She's going to create a life where happy, healthy, wealthy, residual income. And I want the best for you guys. I want the best for myself. That's what these calls are for. So I'm gonna give it back to Sabil, and we'll see tomorrow. Remember, guys, I'm gonna try to figure out this login thing with Zoom, but please be on time and take notes, because I don't want to start the call at 12:10. We don't have that much time. So I'm gonna hand it over to Sabil, and I'll let you guys go.
Thank you, Ross. Thank you. Let's put some fire emojis for the Ross, please, guys. Please, amazing information. So we're a little bit rushing today because everyone late. So tomorrow, same time, guys. Please don't be late. Grab your notes, grab the pens, and be ready to listen to amazing information. So now we're gonna jump to the Vincent Iannucci business presentation. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your patience, and don't be late, and speak to you and see you tomorrow. Have an amazing day, everyone. Thank you, guys.
Have an amazing day, guys. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace out.